Now I'll show you the lace knitting head LC2 for the 280. First, let's go over the parts on the knitting head. This is the handle like the main machine head. When lifting it, lift from the outside in. To lower it, just do this. When performing lace knitting, set the side cam lever to the triangle position. For plain knitting, set it to the circle position. The density dial works like the main machines does. Higher numbers mean looser fabric. For idle or gather knitting, set the cam lever to P. When it starts in the P position, the side counter won't register. When the cam rod is set to plain or lace knitting, the counter rod activates. The lace knitting head comes with a pattern card. Using the H counterweight pin, let's take a look at. The lace knitting head's pattern card. The lace pattern card is marked with a null. The main machine's pattern cards lack the mark. There's a red arrow on the left side of the lace pattern card. The red arrow shows the knitting head's direction. Now let's begin knitting. Now we'll use the LC2 knitting head to cast on. The lace knitting head lacks a rustle rod. Knitting won't work if the needles are in the D position. So when we are weaving, use the needle pusher to move the needles to the D position. Then push the needles back to the D position. Now make sure the needles are neatly aligned. Set the cam lever to P. And move the machine head back and forth 2 to 3 times. Next, clip the hem pin into the needle groove. Set the side cam lever to the marked circle position. Set the cam lever to the plain lace knitting setting. Set the density dial to 7. We still use the cast on thread to begin. Once the pattern card is in place, set it to position 1. And lock it. Next, insert the yarn into the thread groove. Hold the yarn vertically, secure it into the thread inlet. And slowly move the carriage. Ensure all needles are engaged. Then attach the cast-on thread. Once the cast-on thread is attached, gently pull the cast-on thread and move the carriage. Then remove the cast-on thread. Set the density dial back to position 5. Knit a few rows of plain stitch. This helps prevent the knitted fabric from rising. Let's just attach the counterweights. Since we didn't text on too many stitches today, so we'll just attach the hedge counterweight and 2 small ones. for a longer piece of fabric. We could add multiple counterweights. Now let's move on to lace knitting. Check the arrows on the pattern card. They show the carriage's stitch direction. The carriage is moving right to left. The carriage has already memorized the pattern card. Let us get started. Set the side cam levers to the triangular position. To unlock the pattern card, holes on the pattern card indicate lace knitting sections. Sections without holes are for plain knitting. This is what lace knitting looks like. Earlier we demonstrated the simple open work techniques. Next, we'll show you how to knit fashionable open work. Two of the included pattern cards are for knitting fashionable open work. These two cards are like other open work pattern cards, with a red arrow on the left, showing the knitting head's direction. However, the difference is in the printed section on the right. For fashionable open work knitting, for plain knitting, the numbers are not marked in red. Fashionable open work uses red markings, with simple pattern cards on the right, showing only red numbers. Now, let's begin knitting. First, set the machine head to memorize the pattern card. Position the side cam lever at the triangle mark. Unlock the pattern card. Move the machine head as the left arrow indicates. The first 2 rows have no number marks, so knit plain. From the 3rd row, red markings indicate. Here, you'll knit the fashionable openwork design. When working on fashionable openwork, we take the thread out of the thread guide. Then set the cam lever to the P position for knitting. Here, move the carriage back and forth at the red mark. Now we have reached the area without the red mark. This indicates plain knitting. Now place the yarn in the thread guide. After threading, check the yarn tension. Then set the cam lever for lace and plain knitting. Then start knitting. After 2 rows, we reach the red mark on the right. Now, remove the thread from the thread guide. Move the knitting head back and forth. When doing fashionable open work, move the knitting head while checking the pattern card. During fashionable open work, the counter doesn't count. This is fashionable open work. Next, we'll handle a stuck knitting head during knitting. Loosen the nut on the connecting rod and remove the plate. The lace head differs from the main head. There's no button to open the knitting head cover. Just hold the knitting head handle and lift the cover slightly. The needles will then disengage from the cam. The knitting head can then move. When moving the knitting head, move it in the direction of travel. And undo the incorrect knitting. Remove one row. Roll back the counter by one. And reset the knitting head to the pattern card. Now, reinsert the connecting plate into the knitting head. The lace knitting head's connecting plate matches the main knitting head's. Make sure to install it correctly. When reinstalling the main knitting head, remove the side pins on both ends. Forgetting to remove them will damage the side pins during knitting. When attaching the connection plate, insert it tightly, then tighten the nuts. When using the LC2 lace knitting head, it includes two magic cams and the center cam. Install the magic cam the same way as the main machine. First, set the side cam lever to the circle position. Then move it back to the triangle position after installation. Install the center cam the same way. Set it up where you need to knit. When knitting individual patterns with the LC2 Carriage, we use just one yarn, so a yarn guide isn't necessary. While using the LC2, if the carriage becomes hard to pull, as you would with the main machine, just switch the reverse cam. If yarn ends tangle, clean them up right away. These are some basic tips for using the LC2 Carriage.